While I wait for the spread of taint and pestilence to halt, wait for the fields to be ready to harvest, and wait to put an end to this famine. While I still hear news of a great war raging across distant lands, while I am still powerless to stop that, and all the while I am hurting inside. I am also slightly messed up in the head. The darkness I have seen, that darkness I have let control my study, the same eldritch knowledge that took me where I needed to go. I need to clear my mind, declutter my workspace, and take a long soak in a bath. Today I started on the bulk of the declutter, trying to figure out the best ways to sort my warehouse. Now then, welcome back to another episode of A Druid's Tale. Today we are fresh back from our adventure, and didn't the armour serve us well? The big mighty void armour served us well. But now I'm back into my Mana Steel, just back in the Mana Steel, just rocking it back out again. I should have a thingy in my inventory, Mana Tablet in my inventory. That's a good plan. I'm gotta have a good sort out today though, because I had inventory full of all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things. We had lots and lots of these essences from all of the bad guys that we were killing. Lots and lots of bad guys that we're killing. Lots of wisps and stuff in there as well. So I know a good source to get wisps now, so I can use wisps in a mob farm. But for a little while, I want to just take stock of things. My vision becomes strange and grim. Oh, not again. That's one of the things that I want to sort out, but I don't want to sort it out right now. Oh, my vision, strange and grim. I want to sort out my warehouse. I want to sort my warehouse. I want to lock myself away in here with all of the things and all of the stuff and all of the barrels and everything, and just figure out a new design, because the refined relocation just stopped working for me and I want it to go away. I want to change it. I want to sort it all out. The plan was to put refined relocation under all the barrels and have everything all sorted together. So I'd have a dump chest, and I'd just dump everything in the chest, and it would all get into the sorting stuff and all that kind of stuff. We tried that really early on in the series, and for a while it was working fine. And then we had an update and it all broke. Then I didn't go with the update for a little while, and all of a sudden it's all not working again. But, we've got this update, so we've got to use it for something. The refined relocation does have its uses, but on a smaller scale. So, I want to do a few bits and pieces of tidying up and sorting out, and I think I'm going to go with my tried and tested storage drawers. I do like a few storage drawers. Been using them in C-Team quite a bit, and they work wonderfully. So I think I'm going to use quite a bit of this. Also, there's a bit of extra utilities and refined relocation that I'm probably going to use in the place as well. But just to start off with, I'm going to rip the whole place a new one. I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to rip it all out and start again and see where we go to with that. There's been lots of storage in here, and I've really been putting this job off for ages because, well, it took me a while to make in the first place, and now I gotta rip it all out and start again. It's really kind of odd feeling. Yeah, I can start taking all of these things away and then putting the chest down somewhere else. These sorting chests, they just don't work anymore. Or at least I couldn't make them work. So I'm going to start dumping things over here and then give them all a good sort out and tidy up and basically rip this whole place apart and see what I can come up with to resolve my storage issues and try and regroup, reuse and recycle all of these bits and pieces. Like this goes under the floor here. We've got to rip all this out. We've got to pretty much rip a ton of the stuff apart in order to make it work again. The whole base was organised around this, which makes it the most annoying. And this went up here. It went into all of these storage chests, all of these storage bits over here, All of these storage drawers were set up with the refined relocation in mind, so that the tree farm would just automatically put things away, and it really doesn't, does it? It really doesn't sort out properly anymore. It doesn't put things away properly anymore. It just glitches out on me all over the place like this. So that didn't work. That doesn't work, and I don't think I will be using refined relocation in its current form in this pack. So I've got to start ripping things out. Ripping all the floor out, ripping all these out, and storing it all away. So I'll be back when I've got something to show you that is all new and funky looking. Alrighty, so as always, I could have made this much more simple. I could have made it probably more effective by just having a load of chests in this sort of area marked up and say what's in them, and then come and put stuff away by hand when I'm finished with them. At the end of each episode, just come and empty my inventory back away into the storage chests. But I wanted to do things a little bit different, and I've changed things around a fair bit, even though it looks very similar, because I liked the design of the place. I liked the design of my warehouse. I liked it. I've added carpet down now, and I've started messing around with different storage methods, such as these Router Reborn things. I was thinking about using Router Reborn, and these barrels are pretty good. They're pretty tight. They do only cost a couple of ender pearls and a bit of wood, which is no problem whatsoever. And that's for the tier 3 version of the storage unit, which is awesome. The only problem I'm having, right, there's a shift right click to lock and unlock, the same as the barrels. You can get stacks out as you click. That's nice, right? But let's say, for instance, I've got 3 stacks of dirt on me and put some of them in there. I can double click on there and it will take it all out. Yeah, but let's say that I don't have it on my hotbar, right, and I double click, it keeps it in my inventory. It doesn't take it out of my inventory when I double right click on barrels. So barrels in the barrels like this, here we go, let's do it with this test, right, put those into there, the jabber barrels, you double right click and it puts everything out of your inventory into the barrel. Whereas the Router Reborn style does not, which is kind of defeating the object. I can automate putting things away into these, but it would be nice just to be able to like just double click on them and get stuff out of my inventory instead of having to have them on my hotbar. Now, fortunately, with inventory tweaks, it takes the item that you used last and tries to refill the slot on the hotbar. So when I'm putting stuff away like that, I can put stuff onto my hotbar and put stuff away. But in general, I don't particularly like the Router Reborn barrels for what they are, the storage units. I like the way they look. I like that they've got all the text on them. I like the way that they've got a great big block sticking out of them. I like the way it renders. I like the way it looks. And I like the fact that it's got a lot of storage in there. What I don't like is that one bit where Jabber Barrels just does that little bit extra. Jabber Barrels does all the same things except for pronouncing the graphic, and it also allows you to just double tap anything along the way. All of these are kind of designed to just double tap the plate, as it were, the front plate, and put away all items from your inventory, except for the Router Reborn, which is going to be annoying having it a mixed system. So there may be some things that I use Router Reborn for, and I've set up a little area where I was starting to make bits and pieces for Router Reborn in here, thinking that I was going to do most of my stuff as Router Reborn. There's these inventory cables and stuff that we've got, and yeah, I've been checking it out and figuring it out and trying to figure out whether do I actually want these inventory cables and Router Reborn setup. And I may still use something, but not quite yet. I've stored away all the old refined relocation because, again, refined relocation has some very good advantages that I might use, such as the filtered hoppers are pretty awesome. The block extenders are pretty awesome. The actual like sorting system itself seems to be broken at the moment, and that could just be that there may be a range limit on these now, whereas before there was an unlimited range. Now there's a range limit. But still, I like Router Reborn, and I like Refined Relocation, and I'm going to use parts of the mod in the same way as I'm going to use Jabber in part and storage drawers in part, depending on what I need to use it for. I really like the drawer controllers for storage drawers. Being able to take anything out of here and then double right click on the storage drawer to put it all away into the connected inventories is an awesome tool, and I like that a lot. So storage drawers is good, and also storage drawers allows you to put at least 4 items in a block face, which is awesome. So just little setups like this can be done quite easily because it looks cool. The compacting drawers are also very good, especially for ores, so I've taken those on board for ores around here, because it stores them in a compact drawer where you can get the blocks, the ingots, or the nuggets without needing to craft them, which is excellent, and I like that as well. So I'm going to have to mix and match, and because I'm mixing and matching, because there's no one storage system that I can reliably use for everything I want to do, I'm going to have to figure out ways of getting them all to work together in the various different storage locations around my warehouse. So I've started marking things up, and I've started deciding where things are going to go, and I've started laying some materials out. Speaking of materials, this corner's supposed to have all of like the redstone and the diamonds and coal and all those kind of vanilla materials that you pick up. So that I've still got the crafting elements around here. I can still come over to the thermal expansion area, and if there's something in the chest that's already made, or in one of these blocks, which is kind of the stuff that I use regularly. If not, I can go to the crafting station and craft something. And when I'm finished doing a job, I can just come along and double tap the controller and it'll put it all away for me. So I like a lot of that. I like a lot of that. But what I want to do is have an auto sort. So I want to have this chest here, like my dump chest. My original concept was having a dump chest at the doorway. I literally open the dump chest, put some stuff in, and it filters out under the floor and goes and drops things off in all the right places. Now, with Tesseracts, that's another thing. I've got a Tesseract channel now. Tesseracts allow me to beam things from other places and to other places to sort things out. So there's that. I've got the ability to send things to and from other locations around my world. And also send power as well. So I love Tesseracts. And the item manipulation, the speed of extracting from this chest and out to the various locations needs to be a quick and exact science, as it were. Because if this chest is slowly emptying, with extra utilities pipes, for instance, if I was to use those, then I'd have to have all sorts of speed upgrades and bandwidth upgrades and all sorts of stuff, and also have the problem that the transfer nodes would potentially get stuck with a tape measure and not have a location for a tape measure, and then the whole chest backs up because I've got a tape measure stuck in the sorting system. And then I've got to come along and manually take it out and all that kind of stuff. So extra utilities pipes are out, even though they're excellent and awesome and fantastic and I love them. I could potentially make a ton of retrieval nodes and set up retrieval nodes onto these kind of drawer controllers on the underside. So it pulls from available inventories to this inventory. But again, the checking every single location on a transfer node pipe is slow, too slow. So the quickest thing that I can find involves Endareum. Also, my Tesseracts involve Endareum. So we've got a few things that I want to use Endareum for. So I've got to figure out a little Endareum setup at the minute. We've got these pipes, if I can find them in here. Well, we've got the Tesseract itself. That's one thing. We've also got anytime today. We've got the resonant servos, which are moving extraction speed of 0.5 seconds and taking a full stack at a time with a 3 times speed boost. So the extraction rate is massive on this servo, which means that anything that is attached to it is just going to empty out and put away. But if items get stuck in the pipe, then they're going to have other problems. So there's things like resonant flux ducts. That's an energy version of the resonant flux duct. There's warp item ducts. Now the warp item ducts is where I want to look at. It's Endareum with item ducts. Item ducts are simple enough to make, cheap, but the Endareum added to them makes them uber. It uses RF, but it moves items instantly. So combining the warp item ducts with the servo that we had on the previous page, the servos, will allow me to warp items out of a dump chest to the locations where they're supposed to go. And one of the other things about the thermal expansion pipes or ducts is that it can only pulls an item out if it's got a location to put it in. So this storage chest here will keep that tape measure and not get it stuck in the inventory of the piping system. The piping system will only pipe out things that it can put somewhere where there's a valid location for it. It will extract it at a stack at a time in 0.5 seconds, and it will instantly transfer it to where it's supposed to go. All in all, I feel like the Endareum warp item ducts from thermal expansion will be my best means of transporting items. So in order to do all of that, I'm now looking at my current Endareum setup, which is this setup over here. It was a very basic setup because I wasn't doing a lot of tech. I was doing a lot of magic. But this whole area was for tech. And to make the Tesseracts, I was doing all these various machines. I got Resonant Ender being made and fluid transposers to fill up the Tesseracts, and I've got pulverizers set up in here to do various pulverizing of materials like obsidian to make the hardened glass, to make the Tesseracts. I don't think I've got anything left in there because I've made the last few. But I had a Tesseract set up. And what I want to do is make an Endareum Tesseract setup in here as like my first part of the factory, because I'm going to need a lot of Endareum to make a lot of warp item ducts for in here. Another thing I've done is I've taken out the floor underneath, or the level underneath, so that I can access all of the pipes and all of the wiring and make sure that they go into each different sorting section, and I can put the pipes going directly into these like drawer controllers to put things away properly from the underside. So this will be like the maintenance level for the sorting system. And I've also got that running down to the greenhouse, so I can bring the greenhouse stuff in from that side. And I've got something set up over here from the outbuilding that makes charcoal and tree farm stuff. All of that section can come in this way to kind of bring things into this whole warehouse setup. So I'm going to get on with making that, and I'll show you what I've come up with afterwards, and maybe we'll get a chance to lay some pipes. So I've kind of semi-upgraded to a system that allows me to do things steadily. Silver, yeah. Making an Endareum requires 2 tin, 1 shiny, and 1 silver, and some ender pearls. So I've got all of this assembled now and all sort of sorted out so that I can order Endareum ingots whenever I need them. And I kind of got it going on here. Let's take 4 of those. That's my last 4 down here. I've got to start transferring ender pearls into the warehouse in order for this to be successful. So I come along and I grab my tin and my shiny and my silver and all that, and it comes into this little factory block here, which is compact and neat and looks lovely. I've even brought the carpet in from the warehouse. I haven't quite finished it because I ran out of green carpet, but I've done the carpet in from the warehouse, bring it into here, and then I literally just put the ores in there. So I can do that through the controller, which I love it. So all of these now have a stack or so, which is gorgeous. And I put my ender pearls in there, and that's taken all that out. Yep. So we take 1, 2, 3, 4 ender pearls, and we take 1, 2 of those, and 1 of those, and 1 of those. Stick them in the chest. Now we know we're going to make at least 1 there, but the leftover shinies will get sorted out. So what's going on is this single the single servo and pipe can take the items out of this chest. So the ores to be pulverized and the ender pearls to be smelted. The ender pearls to be smelted go straight over to the magma crucible. You cannot pulverize an ender pearl, so that's the only valid location for it to go, which is why I've only got one piece of pipe in here. And then the pulverizer pulverizes all the ores up and outputs directly into this cyclic assembler. The cyclic assembler has some stock in already, but it won't overflow, it won't overfill. I know how much stock I've got in here, and I can add more stock. I say stock, very good. Stock into there, so that as this liquid fills up to 1,000 ender pearls, each ender pearl is 250, so 4 ender pearls equals 1,000. As soon as it gets to 1,000, it will create the recipe to make the Endareum blend. The Endareum blend is 4 dust and a bucket of ender, right? That'll make the Endareum blend. The Endareum blend will then come into this chest here, get sucked out via the transfer node into the smeltery, and the smeltery will then smelt it down and automatically ingotify it, that's a word, ingotify it, which automatically gets pulled down into this chest here. So it's super simple, but it's not constantly running. It's not constantly running because I want to manage it. I don't want all of these resources turned into Endareum. I want Endareum when I want Endareum. I will make stockpiles of Endareum ingots, but I will not have a constant running on the server type Endareum being produced all the time. And behind the scenes down here, we've got something that just keeps it all running automatically. First of all, we've got a Tesseract coming in with on the warehouse channel, giving me power from the solar panel tree farm over there. I've got an igneous extruder, which is just making cobblestone. The cobblestone is then going into a magma crucible and receiving power from the Tesseract. That cobblestone gets smelted down into lava. The lava is auto-ejected into the smelted tank. So the smeltery will always have lava, and this should really be able to keep up with that because it can fill up loads of lava there. This holds a load of lava here, and the smeltery really doesn't use a load of lava. That's only 4 buckets of lava it takes in total. And this holds 10 buckets of lava, and it slowly uses. So that's all the power of the smeltery sorted out, and power to the machines. The machines all just take a little bit of power as well to do the processing. So for the amount of time that I'm spending using Endareum, I can have this set up over here. So I've brought a stack for each of these, which gives me 2 dust per ore, so therefore that's 2 stacks of each dust, which means that that's a total of 2 stacks of Endareum dust, or ender dust, or whatever, that it can make before I need to restock it. It's just the ender pearls now, which I'll bring over a load of ender pearls to fill that up, so that we can magma crucible all of that endo juices. So it's all like kind of sitting there waiting for me to put stuff in this chest. And I like that. I like that a lot because it's just a simple case of me coming down here and the materials are already here and just doing it when I need it. Yes, I like it. So now I've got all of this Endareum ingots. Now I need to go and start laying out the ducts, the item transfer ducts. So the simplest of setups this is going to be, I'm going to have this on here with a resonant ender servo. The servo then allows me to take 64 stacks at a time. I just have it always pull in. Don't use anything to restrict it. It literally just uses it all the time. It'll come to here, which means that it's getting power from the Tesseract. So this is now all receiving power to instantly move stuff across. And we should, in theory, what's that? Compacting drawer, oak drawer. In theory then, I should really bring this down one so that I can see where it's going, and then bring it across this way, and then into a sorter just here would be good. But let's just do it here for now. So yeah, we'll save that one. I'll keep that one. Let's get one of these drawer controllers, if I can get out of here without banging my head too much. Get around here. There's the drawer controllers. I've actually got quite a few of these. 13, yeah, so I've got plenty made up ready. Oh man, I thought that was a creeper outside then. I can just put that onto here, like that, and that should allow this to instantly put stuff back away into the ingots as they're needed. So it'll try and take anything out of here that it can and put it into there. Okay, so let's test it out. I'm probably going to have to put a load of rubbish in my inventory. Yeah, I am going to put a load of rubbish in my inventory. Okay, let's take the few stacks of iron there. Let's take a few stacks of iron. There we go. Okay, so we'll place these quickly into there. And as fast as I'm taking things out and putting the iron in, giant waffle's head. Awesome. And it's going to be putting them straight back into here. So it's going to be instantaneously moving to here. Which is perfect, which is ideal. Which takes a lot of resources to make this sort of stuff, but every 6 of these cables that's going to go around the whole place, it's going to take me 1 Endareum ingot and a lot of lead and stuff to make the item ducts in the first place. Should be that I can set this all up fairly swift to give it a very swift emptying of this place. The problem I'm finding now, though, is I'm getting all this trash, all the stuff that the mob farm's creating that I don't really want in here. I've been getting a lot of this, and I think I need to start combining it all and storing it downstairs. So I'm probably going to have a setup down here for just getting rid of all the junk. Now, I was watching Ego's stream the other night. He's playing the Infinity Expert Mode Skyblock. And he had a similar kind of setup with a load of his stuff. So I get a drawer controller, that's the first thing. And then I want just a load of these drawers. How many have I got there? 2 compacting drawers in there at the minute. That's not good enough. I suppose... Yeah, go on. Let's just have all of them. I haven't got any of them. Oh man, I've got to make some more. Okay, I've got to make some more of those. I might have some more around here actually. All the sorting ones would actually work. Yeah, the sorting inventory ones would actually work. So we'll use these up on the stock pile of stuff that we don't really want. I can take a load of this as well, because these are the sorting barrels that I don't actually want. So instead of just scrapping them and leaving them all forever, I can bring them down here. And we can have a controller there, which allows these things to then start filling up. Yeah. And it should also connect to these barrels as well. And it will start sorting all of these things out. And I can have some barrels of storage like this. That should, in theory, use these as well, even though it's not physically connected. Should, in theory, use that as well. Instantly transferring items the best I can. And I should be able to empty my inventory out with these things as well. It's going to take a lot of sorting, obviously, but it'll keep the chest empty. So I'll be able to throw stuff like this into void barrels and be able to put a load of things like this into these little chests so that we get a little stockpile of some things. Other things are going to end up getting sorted out over there, but slowly but surely I'll be getting all of the things that I actually want out of this chest and into the right storage location eventually. So a little bit of like junk storage down the bottom here, and then the actual good stuff up here, all arranged, all sorted, and hopefully all ready for next episode. That's all I got time for today though, folks. I've been very busy off camera, I know, and I'm going to get some more busy off camera. But I will see you in the next episode of A Druid's Tale. Thank you very, very much for watching. We need to get rid of some warp next episode, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get all of my different stockpiles of random stuff that I've got lying around the world. Chests of this and that all over the place. I want to get it all in this warehouse, just so that it's all sorted and out of the way, so that when I come to crafting the next big crafting thing, I've got all the stuff available to me quite simply in my warehouse. So thank you all very, very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode of A Druid's Tale.